Hi, this is Jackie.
And this is Jeff.
And this is HomeBodiesOnly, where we welcome all bodies to join us as we break down and dissect HBO Max series. And this episode, we are talking about It. Welcome to Derry, Season 1, Episode 3. Now You See It. Here is a summary from AI.
Mm-hmm.
It features, they're calling it a seance when they were in the graveyard, I guess, where the kids try to photograph supernatural activity in a graveyard, leading to a chase where they capture images of ghosts and a fleeting glimpse of a clown. The episode also includes a flashback to 1908 showing a young General Shaw encountering a Pennywise-like creature at a circus and being saved by a girl named Rose who uses a slingshot to ward off the monster.
Mm.
Okay, it's going to go to loves. I just want to start off this episode. I loved it. This has been my favorite so far. I think because I felt like we found a little more out. I feel like it was a little bit more maybe fast-paced or just like maybe more parts of the story. I don't know. I really
we definitely got
liked
some more backstory. Okay, that's interesting.
Mhm.
I thought I guess of the 3 episodes so far, I was a little this one wasn't my favorite, but I watched it again. How dare you?
Get out of here. Okay.
I watched it again, and I do really like this episode.
My other loves, I loved young Francis. So these kids are so cute. Like they're the cutest. I loved Rose.
I had that one
young
as
and old.
well.
Yeah.
Young Francis, he was really cute.
Young Francis with his suspenders, the paperboy, newspaper hat, whatever. Just adorable. Rose, young and old, perfect casting. That was fantastic. Also completely took me by surprise, that storyline. I mean, I just also want to, I don't know if I'm prefacing this or not, but so Jeff and I have not read the book. I saw the It Chapter 1 movie. I honestly don't remember it. So we come into this with not a lot of background, I feel like. Like we watched It 1990. That's kind of it.
That's it.
I started reading it. I'm only on page like 70. So I think, I'm on a couple Facebook fan pages and they have read the book, or at least seen the movies, like obsessed, and they know a little bit more about it, I think, than we do. So we come in as a little bit like newbies almost watching this. So just saying.
Which is fun because I mean, I'm just watching it for the enjoyment of it. I don't have an expectation from it, from a previous series. So take that,
We're
internet.
like new fans, sort of. I laughed when that thing in the woods was like, hello. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know why when he was like, hello in the woods. I thought that was funny, but he was creepy. I'm not going to say he wasn't creepy, but I thought that was funny.
Okay.
I love that Madeline Stowe was in it. And I was like, why do I love her? Like, what is my connection with her? And did she?
Oh, wait a minute.
I looked her.
Madeline Stowe.
She was the head of housekeeping that Lily bonded with at
That was
Juniper
Madeline
Hill.
Stowe.
Yes.
Okay. She looked familiar, but obviously I didn't catch that. Okay. Oh man.
So she was in The Last of the Mohegans, which I haven't seen in a while. There's something about Madeline Stowe that I don't even think I've seen a lot of things that she's been in. She's like just classy. I don't know. When I say her, like, when you were like, well, she was in it.
Yeah.
What do you feel about her? Like, she's just, she's very chic, classy. I don't know. There's like this respect for her. And I'm not sure where it comes from, but that was my feeling. I was like, oh, Madeline Stowe's in this.
We gotta look into what she was in because that'll help me put it together. I'm trying to think.
I mean, Last of the Mohegans, I thought was pretty iconic.
I didn't see that.
Okay, I did, but only probably once, but it was like 4 hours long or something.
Mm.
No, okay.
I'm trying to think, was that Daniel Day-Lewis or
You're dead to me. I wasn't it
wasn't?
wasn't it Kevin Co wasn't Ke oh, I'm thinking of Dancing with Wolves.
That's it.
What's Kevin Costner?
Let's
Okay,
let's move on.
okay. Whatever. I like Madeline Stowe. She was in it. Girl crush. That's all I'm saying. I love saddle shoes, okay? I love the style with the saddle shoes. That made me happy. Every girl in this show is wearing saddle shoes.
Wait a minute, wait a
Back
minute. What so
in the
what are saddle shoes?
moving on to love.
Wh
What's my
wh
loves? What's the matter?
no, what are saddle shoes though? What do they look
What?
I don't
Okay.
have any.
Jeff, I'm very disappointed in you. Doesn't matter. I'm very upset that you don't know what these are.
I
So
probably do, I just might
these
not
are
know
like
the name.
so they are the shoes that are like um, tie and dress shoes, and they're usually white, but then the middle is like blue, usually like a navy blue
Yeah, I know what
in the
saddle
middle.
shoes
Oh my
are.
god. Okay. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Okay. So that was like popular in the 50s, 60s, and
Well, I like
I
those
love
too.
them. I love that. I knew you would. That's why I'm so upset that you didn't know what those are.
I do,
So
I do.
girls wear them with they're all dressed alike. It's so funny. They're all dressed alike with like the plaid skirts and then the saddle shoes. And love the saddle shoes so much. I was a cheerleader, and we would get sneakers every year,
Mm.
every season. And one of the seasons we got these. They were sneakers, but they looked just like saddle shoes, and I loved them so much. They had the navy blue in the middle, and our school colors were blue and white. So into the saddle shoes. I love that Dick Halloran was saying that, like, he spent a night with Aretha Franklin. I just thought that was funny.
Yeah, yeah, those
I thought
guys,
that was funny.
they get to carrying on at the base. I like those exchanges.
Mhm. Mhm.
There's some
Yep.
good chemistry with those actors. It's fun.
Yes. Yeah. Richie. Like, I love him so much. He is
Yeah, he's
the cutest, feisty little thing, and his hair is the best,
yeah.
and, I follow him on Instagram now, this actor, and
Oh, man. How old is that kid?
Arian I was 12. I have no idea. Sure he's not 12, but, like, Arian Cartea? Something like that, and I love him. So cute. Such a good little actor, and then also his milkshake mustache when they came out of the diner, because he spills the chocolate milkshake, and he has the mustache when they, like, leave the diner and go meet up with the girls, and I just love that that stayed there in the scene.
Yeah.
I thought that was
Well,
cute.
I was wondering about the cheeseburgers and the french fries. I was like, "Man, you guys just got your
That
food
they
and you
left
just
those there.
left
I
them."
know. I have a love-hate relationship with the cemetery scene, like, all the stuff that went down,
Hmm.
because I will say I actually watched this at a very odd time of the day. It was, like, 4 in the morning, so it was very dark, and I was on my couch, and it was very dark in the house, and I'm watching it, and I was like, "Whatever, this is not scary." I'm like, "Okay, it's a little scary in the
I
beginning,"
just
and, you know, part of me was like, "Why you don't need to do a conjuring in this town. Like, you just to do that.
right, right.
These evil things are gonna come to you anyway." But so I did love the creepy part of it. I'm all into that. Like, candlelight, like, I'm totally into that. But then at one point when they were riding the bikes and there was, like, explosions or sparks on the ground, I kinda got taken out of it for a
Hmm.
second and thought, "Is this AI?" So that that's why I mean, I didn't hate it, but, like, certain parts I was thinking, "Okay, how much of this is, well, AI and little fake?" And I did see some stuff, just people commenting, like, saying the cemetery scene was corny and, like, ripping it apart, where I was like, "Oh, I was kinda scared," but also I thought some of the effects, but that's more my style. Like, I like my style of horror. Like, I like the creepy I'm a weirdo. Like, I like the dead, creepy
Yeah.
graveyard stuff and more than that gore and ridiculous, that
Yeah,
to me is ridiculous,
I
like,
hadn't thought about
overdone.
that actually. That is that style of that scene is quite a bit different than everything that's been in the series so far. I mean, it was
Mhm.
definitely more whimsical and, you know, again, I know I've brought it up a time or two, but like the tone of the show sometimes, I didn't really have a problem with any of that scene. I liked all of that pretty much, but it was I don't know what the word is I'm looking for, but it was just kind of light-hearted, more light-hearted in a sense, you
Yeah,
know.
because the stuff with Richie, like, how he was, like, making stuff up, basically.
Yeah, or
Like, "Oh, it's this, it's that." I like that they threw that in there. There was, like, some
yeah,
humor
but even
happening.
like those
Yeah.
ghosts and stuff and the sound effects and everything, I was like, oh, this is almost like, somewhat comical. Um, I don't know. We'll see how it plays out. I don't know. I'm a little confused with the tone of the show
Yeah.
sometimes, where like what it's doing. So,
Hmm.
but
I think they are I mean, I'm guessing. I really do think they're trying to do, like, a balance or a combination of, like, the horror and the scary, but then there's also the real things, like the military, the I don't know,
yeah,
but
No, no,
I
there's
don't know.
definitely a lot to.
It's
They have a
interesting.
lot presented for sure for people to latch on to, which is
Mhm.
good.
Mhm. Alright. What do you have for loves?
Um,
Likes? Intense like? I don't
I
know.
have. Well, early on in the episode, uh, I do really love the costume and the makeup of that Joker or Jester that was in the carnival. We
Yes.
barely get a
Oh, crap. I
we
meant to
barely get a
add that.
glimpse of what looked like to be like a child, the
A
girl, yeah.
girl, I think.
But
Yeah. Yes. I
that
forgot to add that. She was
completely
awesome.
like captured my imagination. I wanted to see that
Mhm.
that character. I was like, that's phenomenal,
She was
really
beautiful.
cool.
I of course, I'm on the fan pages, and there's theories that she is the daughter of Bob Gray, who supposedly Bob Gray is
Mm,
Pennywise, and I don't know. Then there was a theory that it was the character played by Madeline Stowe, that was her when she was little. I don't know, I saw a couple different things. There had well, I shouldn't say that. I wonder if there's significance with that. But I love the look of that clown. I forgot to
yeah,
put that in there. Like, the makeup, like, oh my gosh, so it was beautiful, and maybe that's a Halloween costume
yeah.
in the
There
future.
you go. Gotta get
Or
gotta get your
just for
sewing
fun.
machine warmed up. Get some textiles.
No, the
No, I
makeup
know. But well, you kind of need
and
the
the wig.
the things too. The whole
I need
jester
that
thing.
wig, yeah.
Oh, right. Actually, she didn't
Mhm.
really have the jester thing.
It's
They were
good.
like the wig with the like her hair was like woven to kind of be like the
Twisted.
jester.
I loved
I
it.
don't know what they call that, but that was really
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. She didn't have a hat, it was her hair. Yeah, no, she was very cool. Like a doll too, like the yeah, it was cool.
Um. So yeah, some of the other things I have, they're kind of out of order, unfortunately, but in terms of the sequences
It's okay.
I mean, of the sequence of the episode, but well, it's I'm gonna come back to Richie because I do like that he hangs around town with drumsticks in his back pocket. I do like that.
Oh, I loved. I showed my son. I'm like, look at this. Look at this dude with his drumsticks in
Yeah,
his
that was
pocket."
cool.
I love
And
that.
you mentioned Francis. Yeah, I liked his acting, and I thought was just really strong. And
Mm,
obviously his scene partner for the most part, the actress who plays young Rose was really great as well.
Rose, so good. Yeah.
And just the mission that the kids went on, if you will, the adventure that they went on, I just was like totally into that because they got the bikes and the
Oh,
camera,
yeah.
and they're
It's
like,
good.
they had a whole plan,
Yes.
and it was just awesome to spend time with them in that way and get to, to
Mhm.
go on the whole adventure with them, and you know, the
Yeah.
uh the seance and the crypt and everything. That was really an awesome part of the episode,
Mhm.
for me at least. And
Yeah.
Um, I mean, it seemed to have some kind of like blue filter on that whole scene that I thought was,
Mm,
yeah,
the graveyard?
that was just, I thought was
Yes.
really awesome. I love when they,
It's like a midnight
yeah,
blue, like a
yeah,
right? Like a
uh,
deep yeah, no,
yeah,
I like
it
that
just
too.
really set the
I like that.
mood. So
Mhm,
I love seeing stuff like that when they just put you, you're more immersed into what's happening. Like it's like, which is was a good call. I love that. And
mhm,
um,
mhm,
actually, the after dinner porch scene with Leroy and
mhm.
Halloran, I thought that was a really
Mhm.
great exchange,
Yeah.
and just seeing those actors in that scene together. I was like totally invested in that and just really enjoyed, watching them act off each other. Yeah, Leroy, I don't know what to make of him sometimes, because he's always like he can't really, obviously by nature of his job, he can't
It's
say
hard to
much to
read
his
him.
family, and but then you have, uh, uh, man, I'm sure they do this on purpose. So Halloran, because Leroy Hanlon, right, and Halloran.
It was yes, Leroy
That's
Hamlin. I know. I don't
that's
know why they're
like,
doing the H's,
really
sorry.
close. But anyway, just the 2 of them together in that scene I thought was really good. Oh, Leroy, yeah, you don't know how to read him because he's, in the military, he doesn't really talk to his family that much, and then you have Halloran who's, um, he can't really say much either. So it's like they're like talking in code with each other the whole time, which is fun. And also it's kind of like, what's going on, Like, what are you guys talking about?
Yeah. But well, now that I think about this, like, I really loved that that's the one thing because I've, posted some videos and some shorts and was talking about, like, the parents and stuff, and you were talking about we don't really see the parents except for, the Hanlons. The Hanlons are the ones that are more in tune, and, there's theories and there's ideas and saying, like, that Derry has haunted the parents where, like, it
Hmm.
blinds the parents. That's why the parents don't believe the kids, and they're, like, under the spell of Pennywise or something like that. But the Hanlons aren't. Like, the Hanlons seem, um I don't know, obviously, we don't know 'cause, Leroy hasn't heard anything from Will yet, weird stuff going on, but they seem to be a little more like, "What the heck's going on in this town?" Um, the fact too that Leroy felt when Halloran was
Oh,
reading his mind. He felt him. So there's this connection, and I like that. I also thought of a love when you were talking that I loved that the kids actually developed those goddamn pictures because all I could think of was these
yeah,
freaking pictures better. I was like, "What's gonna happen to those pictures?" They're like hanging them. I'm like, "They got the pictures," but
yeah. The
something's gonna happen.
dark
But
room
I love that part.
photography exposure was great. I mean, my
It was cool.
my daughter is actually
Yeah.
taking darkroom photography in high school right now. Yeah, yeah. She
Oh,
hasn't shared
she
too
is?
much with me about it yet, but I
Oh,
she's
that's
liking it.
cool.
But yeah, I've never done that. I would love to do
Yeah.
that.
That's interesting. Me neither. I know. I remember, like, back in the day because that was the only way to develop picture or see pictures, and now you can see pictures so quickly. So that's interesting that they offer that now still, even though you can get satisfaction from a picture in a second from your phone. So that's pretty I mean, obviously not the hard
Yeah,
copy,
I
but that's
mean,
pretty
I
cool
know. I mean, I think there's
that she's doing that.
a decent amount of chemicals involved with it. So I don't know.
Oh, yeah. So you're not happy about her
Well,
being exposed.
it just depends,
What do you mean?
if you wear the necessary protective gear, then you're probably okay. But I don't know if she's doing that. So
Yes.
yeah, that was a great. I, I,
Back in the day, they weren't
right?
doing
Yeah, no
crap,
kidding.
but
Not certainly not in the era of this show. No, there was there's no safety gloves on.
no. I
Yeah,
mean, even think when we were in school, people on the newspaper and the yearbook
yeah.
or whatever they were doing. Yeah. Yeah, that was
Let me
cool.
see. I think
Okay.
Oh, yeah, and then I really like the, just the scene ending with Halloran when he was on the airplane and transitioning down to the sewer and
Mm,
back into the airplane was,
yeah.
I love when there's set pieces like that that, are exist in 2 different spaces and they
Mm,
take you in and out of them. I thought that was really
yeah.
cool. I'm a sucker
Mhm.
for that kinda thing, but that was, and I don't like, I guess this is more like questions thing, but what was that mass of, like,
I have questions.
floating people and toys and stuff that he was staring up at? I was like, "What's is this like, some kind of gateway to another dimension or something?" You know?
Mm, yeah, there's some theories with that because, again, this is not from my brain, from these fans, that he must have traveled to the future
Mm,
because at the point that where they are in this story, there wouldn't have been that many people that would have like been killed. That's
right.
one thing they were saying. That whole pile up. So they were saying it was more like a future. Maybe he traveled to the future and saw how many
Hmm,
people or whatever have been killed. I don't know. I know you get these little glimpses. I mean, like I said, actually loved this episode because there was just more. To me, there was just more
yeah.
information, and I felt like it moved faster, even if we're left with more questions. Um, yeah, I don't know. I got some
I didn't
hates, but
well,
it's not anything ripping apart. It's not anything really ripping apart the actual show. It's just like I hated Hank being in jail and the
uh,
cop, Ronnie's dad being in jail and the cop, like, calling him out about the cigarettes. I was like, "What?" Like, it's annoying. Ronnie's vandalized locker. Like, I can't that stuff with the kids, like, I just get so mad.
yeah. That was one of
Um,
mine as well. Sorry. What was
Will's you're gonna yeah, you're gonna laugh at this. So Will's jacket, like, their clothes in this one, oh, yeah, I loved some of the clothes in this one, and Will's jacket, though, had the Mets colors, and I was a little
okay,
upset
well,
about
hold on a
that.
second. So, um,
I don't even think the Mets were around yet, so say.
might have to fact check.
He had, like, that Mets blue with the orange
Well, I
stripes on the
see,
collar. I was like, "What
I love
what's
that.
happening
I
here?
I
Who
thought that
decided
I
this
wrote
one?" I liked the look of
yeah,
it. I
I was
will
like,
say,
"Oh,
I liked the look of his outfit. I liked the boys' clothes better than the girls. Not that I disliked the girls, but the boys were
they
styling
were,"
this one.
and I
So
I thought, "Oh, okay, that's how you combine stripes," because he had Will
mm.
had the
Oh, yeah.
the blue what do you call that? It's
Oh,
like
he
a
did have a
team
striped shirt on.
jacket or what is that? It's like a
That was like a sports, like a members only. I
that'd
well,
be for
kind it's just
members
definitely like a
only.
sporty
It's like an athletic
crap.
like
It's before members
team
only, I
coat
know, but
with
it's
the
athletic jacket. It was cute, yeah. I would wear
well,
that.
hold
Like, I would've
I have
worn
one right here.
what those kids
Actually,
boys were wearing.
the it's got the striped cuffs and the striped collar, but then he had a
The
shirt that
collar, no,
had
it was great.
horizontal.
Mhm.
And
Stripes horizontal
yeah,
yeah,
whereas I felt
it
like in
worked.
one scene,
Yeah.
um, Ronnie had like she was rocking like double plaid, and I was like, okay,
Yes. Was it the skirt? I know, I didn't pay attention to the girls as much. A lot of them had
yeah.
I
Richie
liked
had
the boys' clothes in
classic
this one.
like mid.
Oh, his plaid jacket, I want it. I actually commented on his freaking Instagram post about it. I was like, "Where's the jacket from?" Because he
Yeah, he's got
talked
the
about
cuff
his outfit. I was like,
jeans, and he's
"Hello,
like a
come on,"
little
because I could fit in
little
it.
rockabilly dude. He's got
Converse,
yeah, he's rocking a
loved it.
cool Pendleton or something.
Very cute. I know we're on hates right now. How many kids
Oh
can drop a
yeah,
camera? That's
yeah,
I mean, okay, I get it, but I was like, "Oh, yeah, duh," like, it got caught in the tree. The
yeah. Yeah, yeah. I'm sure when they're writing, there's a name for that when they're writing these episodes. I just don't know what it is. They're like, we need a yeah.
Three's
It's like a
Company.
bit, right? It's a like it's not slapstick, but it
Right.
almost was, in a way. But yeah, doing it a little bit long, but it didn't bother me though. That didn't bother me so much. It was a cool camera,
No,
so that
didn't bother me
counts.
that much. You know, it was a
Durable,
cool
a
camera.
very durable camera too. Yeah,
A-
or at least a film
Apparently.
canister.
It's hanging in a tree at one point. Yeah. Um, those are my hates. What are your hates? I know
Varying
hate's a strong
bold
word.
statements. I don't. I didn't really have any hate. I had one. It's just that what you mentioned that this
Okay.
Ronnie continuing to get like terrorized at school is like the worst thing.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
but
Oh, yeah.
they're gonna
So
bring
sad.
that. It's part of the deal. And
Right. Because it's, of course, the smartest kids who absolutely like understand what's happening are
yeah,
like the losers. It's like
yeah,
smart kids.
that was really
These freaking popular kids are morons and have no clue what's happening.
yeah. That was my only hate actually. Was just that scene.
Okay. Yeah. I didn't have any I can relate for this one. In fashion, I had Richie's outfit, like the plaid jacket. I want that. It's funny. I did look on because there's a website called Shop Your TV, and they did have some clothes on there, but it was all the girls. Like they talked about like Marge's cardigan, like yellow cardigan, which may have even been from the last episode. I was like, I
What's
can find
this?
that. That's easy.
What
So they didn't have any of
What's
the
this Shop Your
boys, and I
TV?
was
So
trying
it's
to
a
look up the
website,
boys
and
stuff. Mm,
they'll just cross-reference all television shows in existence.
lots of shows. Yeah, a lot of shows. I've used it a lot. Shop Your TV and Worn on
Mm.
TV are my two of my go-tos. And Shop Your TV on Facebook is awesome. You go on there and you like can take a picture of something and put it on there and say like,
Oh
"Where is
man.
this?" Like any show, and they'll look for it. But
Okay.
basically, they Google Lens it, so we kind of can
Yeah.
all do that. But I didn't Google Lens Richie's jacket because also too maybe I would have found it, but it's interesting because it's like if it's popular and it's going around, then like something will pop up. But if no one's really searching for it, it might not pop up. But anyway, yeah, yeah, Jeff, come on, get with
It
it.
sounds like it could be expensive,
Shop
so
your
I don't
TV,
know.
worn on TV.
Wait.
Let's go. Well, I always look for the looks
All
for
right. So
less,
you're
so
like
that was
two,
yeah,
3 steps
what I would
ahead
do.
of me. So I
But
got
yes, it can be expensive.
I got
Yes,
some learning to do.
I've
All
done it.
right. I
No,
won't.
just don't worry about it. How about that? Don't worry your pretty little
All
face.
right.
Okay. Okay. Should we move
Yeah.
on to
Yeah.
thoughts and questions? Okay. So the slingshot connection, because again, I'm going from 1990 movie where they had that
Mm.
slingshot, and then there was the slingshot, and this one is it the same slingshot?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh,
Um,
jeez. His dad. Damn carnival took all my money. Son of a
ugh.
shithead. Get out of here. It's just like it's like so
There was
it's
so
just a quintessential like,
it's so funny. So
era there. Of course, well, what year was that? That was like 1908. It's
I think you're right. I think it was 1908,
early 20th
something like
century.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny because again, we're recording this like we wait a couple days and stuff, but like people throw stuff up on TikTok and talking about this episode like right after it airs and all the stuff there. So I was watching a guy talking about the episode, and he's like, "Francis Shaw's dad is a
Of course they
dick."
do. Yeah. I mean,
That's what I just thought it was funny. I'm like, "Yeah, he is, and he is,"
yeah.
and like yelling at him, "Don't be a sissy," or
Carnival
is that what he
cleaned me
says? Like,
out.
"Don't be a
Where's that
sissy."
slingshot?
Well.
You know, his car broke down or ran out of gas or whatever.
um what are you doing? Like, good plan. I don't know like, what you didn't figure out that you didn't have enough gas. At the carnival too. That the guy's like, "Step right up," and like all these people are going in to see these crazy,
Carnival
freaky
freaks. Yeah.
freak shows, and I know that was like a thing back then. Yeah, but
Yeah,
it's
well, I
just weird.
guess that might that's
Yeah,
like, I
I
don't
don't know.
hate that, but s I'm just thinking though,
No, I don't
like,
hate it. It
back
was
to
just like
your,
a thought. And
like, when Francis and Rose are in the woods and then they run across whatever that
yeah,
being
and he happened to be at the
is, and
carnival.
I'm wondering is, like, why couldn't he leave the woods, and is this a super, like, early incarnation
Mm,
of it, and but he's a Pennywise, but he's, like,
of Pennywise.
I
Yeah.
don't know, aging, and but at the same time, again with the tone, I'm like, is
Mm.
this kind of looks like somebody's like aging grandfather that like snuck out of the house without his clothes on. He's like, hey, what's what's up?
But then he
You
got
got to
bigger and big.
smoke? I
Hello.
need to smoke, guys. Do you guys smoke? you know, they're like,
It's like Bev
we're
Marsh's dad.
seven. We don't smoke, dude.
You know
So
what?
it's like that kind of, and
But
then he turns into the big thing, and I'm just like,
but that just hit me just now. Was that
oh,
Francis's fear? Remember, like Pennywise incarnates into the fear, or it incarnates into fears. He saw that dude at the
hmm.
carnival. So when he saw because like I was thinking when he saw the dude at the carnival, that was not a normal thing, and not everybody saw him because he
Oh
kind of
yeah.
like veered
Well,
off and went
that
into
made
another
sense.
room. Or it's that it was that dude was there and he was freaked out by that dude, and then when he went to the woods, one of his biggest fears was that dude with one eye, and
Hmm.
that's what he saw in the woods. So, did you think he was a goner?
No, no. Actually, as you're just
Like,
saying, laying this out, because
because
um,
I did at first. I did at
I
first.
mean, Rose is aware of that guy as well, so it's not something that he
Oh,
manifested
yeah.
himself, like a fear.
But she didn't say
It
what it
can't come
was.
out
She
of the
just said,
woods.
or did she see, yeah, and like told him not to come out, not to
Hmm.
go. I don't know.
Yeah.
Hmm.
No,
Um,
I was never in a spot where I was fearing for young Francis perishing in the woods. I didn't think
I
I
didn't
didn't think that was
know,
gonna
like, I
happen.
see in the I don't know, when that thing was like, "R," like, went after it was like, I was like, "Oh, they're dead." Like, I did think that for a second. I
Yeah,
didn't
no, I
realize
didn't
that was
either. I didn't
General
really put that
Shaw as
together
a
until
kid.
later in the episode.
No. Obviously, till they said it. This is just a dumb thing, like, where exactly does Will's parents think he is? Like, remember
Yeah,
Will's out in that cemetery, like, for how long at night? And Leroy's like, "He's out of friends." I was like,
he's
"Fuck
out. He's
you,
out
what?"
now or
Like,
something. Yeah,
anyway, that's just stupid. Okay, so, thought here that I didn't write down, but I had thought about it earlier, and you might have the same, is that, originally, I'd say, like, last episode, obviously, we've only seen 2 other ones other than this one, the military connection, I didn't realize. So General Shaw's almost obsession or mission with finding this
yeah.
thing that he's calling like a weapon, does that stem from when he was little and he actually got on this thing and wanting to find it, but he also doesn't remember stuff? I don't know, I'm a little confused.
Yeah,
Ugh.
yeah. Well, yeah. On one hand, you would
You know what
think
I'm
that,
saying?
yeah, that's absolutely
What's
the thing that he's like, you know, focused on, and that's like his motivation is, he's leveraged his position in the
Mhm.
military to implement
To find this.
this investigation or this dig, all these things that he's doing, and he's probably obsessed with it. It is like a feeling that I get from it. But then, yeah, you throw in he even says it, right? Like, I completely forgot about you until
He
I
didn't remember.
returned to Derry.
Yeah.
So, and then I guess that
Yeah.
plays into one of my questions was that, didn't she when they were kids, didn't she say that, what the last thing she said to him was, "Can you keep a secret?" I think, or was I can't remember right now. It was either young
Mhm.
Rose or Rose said that to adult Francis. Yeah,
Yeah.
like I know she asked that question, "Can you keep a secret?" Just wondering like
Mhm.
what's with everybody like forgetting the events that occur in Derry.
Yeah. I don't know. Does he want what's his motivation? Does he want this
Mm,
as a war weapon or is it more of his agenda? I don't know. Like it was a little confusing with how supposedly he
yeah,
didn't remember stuff, but yet he was looking for this
right. Yeah,
uh,
it is a little
thing.
confusing. I mean,
Mhm.
yeah, I guess we're gonna
Mhm.
have to wait and see. I'm trying to remember how exactly.
What
Do you remember how the episode ended? I'm trying to
uh,
remember. I can't remember. But it was like a.
okay, graveyard, they developed
I feel
pictures.
like I feel like it was a bit of a cliffhanger.
I thought it ended with them in the development room. No, yes, I know how it ended. It
Oh
ended
yeah,
with them and developing the picture and seeing
Pennywise. Right.
the picture of we think Pennywise, and Will says, "It's a clown." Like, I loved that. Like, I was so into that. Um, there's theories that that picture is actually the
Yeah.
young looks like girl with the like we were talking about
The
that,
jester or the
but I don't think
joker
so.
or whatever.
I think that's Pennywise. Yeah, I think it's Pennywise. That's the crap I love. I love the weird,
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
creepy
I love
cemetery
that
like,
too.
give
I
me all
mean,
that. Totally into it.
the
Totally into
kids on
that
the
stuff.
bikes and the flashlights and
The bikes. Well, I think too, like, we both grew up with that time. I mean, obviously not in 1962,
yeah.
but riding bikes and going on those types of things, like,
No.
I mean, I never did a seance in the graveyard, but I definitely was into crap like that. Like, we had graves, there were at least 2 graves, where I lived, there was woods behind us and a pond, and there were these 2
Mm,
graves, and their last name was Valentine. It was so random, like, I don't even know how we knew about them behind the pond, and we were like, "Oh," we're like it was daytime, we were touching I would have never went there at night, by the way, and we were, like, putting our hand above it, and we were like,
yeah.
"Do you feel the
No,
cold? There's some
you were on your bikes
vibrations." Like, we
and
totally
driving around
like,
and going on adventures, you
totally
know?
yeah,
Yeah. That was freedom.
that's
That
your
was a
power, that
freedom.
was your power, and you were yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's relatable for sure.
So, yeah, that whole part, love that part. And I love Lily was taught or told by Madeline Stowe, make it right with Ronnie, because like, she put her father in jail, basically. She was like, "I'm gonna make it right. What do
Yeah.
we need to do?" And that was
Yeah,
good.
so I
So
was wondering, like, how long was she there? Because I remember, we see her getting taken out of school in episode 2 and taken to,
mhm.
Rupert Hill. Is that so
Oh, Lily?
we don't really know
Yeah, we don't
how
know.
long
I
she
know,
was
now she's back.
there.
Once again, off scene off, what did we say?
Yeah, they just
Like, when you
take,
don't see
taking
things
care
that
of some
are
things off screen,
done. Mhm.
I'm,
It's good. I definitely
each
like
time we
it.
talk about it,
Um,
I'm like,
totally
I
into
wanna go
it.
check the TV and see if the next episode is there to watch, but I know it's not
Yeah.
because it's only Wednesday. So,
Yeah.
um
Yeah. I'm excited. There's something with
oh,
turtles.
okay.
There's some
Yeah,
significance with turtles. I just have to
the
say. Like,
charm on the
remember I saw
bracelet.
so she had the turtle charm. There's something with the turtle because I started reading the book, and there's a mention of a turtle, of turtles with
Hmm,
Stanley Urus actually as an adult. He starts mumbling about a turtle. So there's something with turtles.
need answers.
So it's just I love I
That's
love this
good.
chat.
Yeah, definitely,
Annoying.
definitely is.
I do like it's fun. It's a good
No
escape.
kidding,
Good
no
escape
kidding.
from crazy real life. That's another reason okay, I wanna
Mhm.
say one more thing. These gory scenes that don't, like, freak me out or scare me, that's because real
Yeah,
life is so much scarier. There's
yeah.
so many crappy things happening in real life, and I'm not even yeah. I'm just my life, in the
Oh, yeah.
world,
No,
whatever it
yeah,
is,
life
that
is
is way
just
more scarier than this shit.
absurd daily
So,
beyond
that's why it doesn't
anything
really
you can
scare me.
imagine. Uh, Yeah.
Mhm. Yep.
All right. Anything else? Are we?
Yeah.
I'm looking
Well,
forward to Sunday. Come around quick.
and next
Okay.
thing.
All right. Catch you later.
All right. Bye.
This is the BTRP Media Network.